All right, everyone, welcome back to the Affaka Show, NFL Week 5, and I am already choking on my words, and maybe that's just because I am so excited to get rock and rolling here with you guys. It's coming out a day later. What do you want from me? It was a holiday, so we had to celebrate that. But now we're getting back to the action, and I was sick as a dog. There's a ton of great stuff going on, and I couldn't go live. I don't know why it's not working. So we're just going to do one shot through. And if we make mistakes, we make mistakes. I'm not Mrs. Butterworth. What I am is going to be interested in this Cleveland-Minnesota game. So Minnesota, they had a tough week last week. Plain and simple. The Browns right now are 3.5-point dogs. 52% of the bets and 58% of that money backing them. So initially, I was shocked to see how big this spread was. But I guess we'll really bank on the fact that this Browns team is not any good. The Vikings, as I said, did terrible last week. Clock management, awful. Carson Wentz, awful. Everything lined up for it just to be bad. And it's really as simple as that. And it's not entirely Carson Wentz's fault, right? He had absolutely no protection, which is what's scary because that's all the Browns have is protection. Not protection, but just running after the protection. Like, that's their strong suit. You have Myles Garrett running at you. That is where the game is going to be different. And I think it's the lowest total they've ever had in international play. I know it's in the 30s. I don't know exactly what it is off the top of my head because we're kind of winging this show. We know all the research, what we've done. So Dillon Gabriel, he's going to be the 41st starting quarterback for the Browns since 1999. 26 years, 41 starting quarterbacks. It has to make you feel bad, like the Boise State quarterback rushing for a first down when you have Notre Dame minus 20 and a half, and they're up 28-7. Makes you feel bad. I really do appreciate this Browns team, the defensive muck that they're going to be able to take this Vikings team in. Now, the only positive for the Vikings team, sure, they have their receivers back, but they are already in the pond. They're already across the pond. They're already in the European region. So they're going to be able to be better traveled. They're probably going to be better well-rested. So that's why I do like the Vikings. However, give me the Cleveland Browns at plus 3.5. It was sitting at plus 4.5 on DraftKings all week long, where every other book was at 3.5. So they must have took a ton of money because, that 4 is a very key number. So they must have took a ton of money going for that Vikings side. I don't care. I think the Browns went out right here, and they might even be able to win by double digits if Dillon Gabriel can really get people moving. So that's really where Minnesota is. Next up, Giants versus Saints. Everyone's going to hate my pick for this game. I already tell you, everyone's going to hate my pick for this game. Right now, the Saints are 1.5-point favorites with, just speaking right there, 1.5-point favorites for the Saints is an absolutely crazy thing to think about. Because in no world should they ever be a favorite. Now with Spencer Rattler, they shouldn't. They have 29% of the bets and 31% of the money backing them. We've even seen this hit 2.5 at some books, which is just insane to think about. The Giants are coming off a huge win against San Diego. They were getting so much pressure against Herbert. Herbert didn't even know what to do. They were so much pressure. Like when you're in a buffet line at Golden Corral and you're like ready to check out, and they're just right up in your grill so much, and you just get confused because there's 5 people there and you don't know what to choose. It's that type of pressure. So not ideal for Herbert. And now the Saints team, can they even block? I don't even know because they just lose so fast. Spencer Rattler, let's face it, he put up a little bit of a fight against Josh Allen, but the kid loses. 0-10 straight up. 0-10 straight up. However, when we're looking at this, I think he breaks it here. I think this is going to be Spencer Rattler's first starting win as an NFL quarterback. I love the Saints here to cover the spread. Look, it's one of those games that makes no sense. It makes no sense. The Saints should not be favored, yet they are. Just bet them. In the lines even moving over to the Saints, sharps know more than we do. I will say the benefits, though, is the Saints are in the Dome. They're at home. They put up a good fight in their first 2 games at home. That's all I can say. Really all I can truly say. Next up, we have the Eagles versus Broncos. there's tons of signs to go with the Broncos here. The Broncos, sure, Bo Nix, he does great as a favorite, but kind of stinks as a dog when you're looking at him, only from against the spread. I mean, straight up, he's been pretty good, but against the spread, he's one-sided, right? Favorite, he crushes it. He's a dog, he does not crush it. They're starting to put it together. You played the Bengals, though. You're starting to put together, but you played the Bengals, though. This Eagles defense is, 85 billion times tougher than this Bengals defense. So that's going to have to be big time adjusted by the Broncos here. And now the Broncos need to get their rushing game going. Tough to rush that much against the Eagles. Even tougher to pass against the Eagles. So I expect the Eagles play a lot of just like crazy defensive ball with them. On the other side of this, I really do anticipate the Eagles to maybe get something going here, right? A.J. Brown's doing nothing. Devontae Smith is doing nothing. But this Broncos defense is really, really tough. The total's set at 44.5, 43.5 at some books. So that's going to be tough because the Eagles keep winning in uncharacteristic ways. That was a big word. I said it fantastic. But they marched down the field. When there's no reason, there's no rhyme or reason that they were able to really push the ball because Jalen Hurts had 0 passing yards in the second half. Zero passing yards in the second half against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers almost came back and won. Oh, but Saquon must have been killing it then. No, Saquon's been averaging 2.7 yards per rush in the second half, people, in the second half. So I don't understand the Eagles. I don't understand they keep covering. They should have lost one against the Rams for the cover, I guess the game as well. I don't care. I'm going to keep backing this Eagles team until they give me a reason not to. Call it witchcraft, call it voodoo. I don't know. But I'll take the -3.5. Although every single sign in my head tells me to hammer the Broncos here, I'm just not going to. I'm just not going to, people. All right, let's go. Next up, Tampa Bay, Seattle. This is just going to be a fun one, and I think there's also just like a ton of fun colors in this game. I think Tampa Bay might be going their creamsicle or whatever, and then Seattle's going that weird blue that like looks really cool, and you're like, oh, maybe they should wear this all the time, but they don't. They just don't. So right now the Seahawks are 3.5-point favorites with 28% of the bets and 32% of the money backing them. If you're watching this and being like he's a little distracted, there's a lot of college football going on, and I have a quad box. Notre Dame, did they just get a pick and they got a flag? If Notre Dame runs another play and they get a flag, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. Tampa Bay, look, I just talked about the Eagles. They lost. You can't just Baker only. They could be 0-4. This Tampa Bay team could be 0-4. They won on 4 game-winning drives. You just have Baker. If you have any other quarterback, like, I don't know. I mean, I love Jalen Hurts. Maybe you can give me Baker over Lamar in a game-winning drive. Baker knows how to get it done. Simple as that. He just does. They can stop the run. Seattle likes to rush the ball. They can stop the run, though. That's to be noted. The Seahawks, they did handle the Cardinals. The Cardinals had terrible uniforms, people. God awful. I wanted to vomit looking at them. I absolutely hated them. I hated their uniforms. So I did respect the Seahawks. Oh, Notre Dame covered, thank God. I did respect the Seahawks. Here's my thing. They're going to be traveling cross-country Tampa Bay. And then you're going to be playing the Seahawks team coming off extended rest who, like, relatively, I power rate them evenly. I understand 3.5 is a ton. Given all the factors here, I'm going to go ahead and back Seattle -3.5. That's just where it needs to be, people. All right, next up, Chargers. You'll never forgive yourself if you don't take this Chargers bet. This Chargers team is not as good as everyone says they are. They're not as good as everyone says they are. I get it, we're obsessed with hardball. I am too. The guy didn't eat chicken because he thought it was a nervous bird. He's a psycho, and I love that. I love that in the best way. Right now, the Chargers are 3-point favorites with 50% of the bets and 50% of the money backing them. So that's what we call split even. That's a split even right there. And I don't know what that means. I've never won a game of hot potato either. That wasn't a real word, but what are we talking? It's one roll, and then we're going to cut it. This is how my brain works, people, when I'm trying to read my notes because I'm not a good reader. The Commanders, they finally get Jaden Daniels back. And let's just be honest, Jaden Daniels is good at football. I'm an Eagles fan, but Jaden Daniels is good at football, so that's going to be a huge bump to the team. Scary Terry's still going to be out, but you're going to be able to get pressure on this Chargers team, even if your interior defense stinks. That's how bad and banged up this line is. Something to really look at is if Joe Alt's going to be in or not. If Joe Alt's not going to be in, I can see this number moving to 3 to maybe I lost my Vanderbilt cover. I can see it maybe getting to 2.5, 1.5. Joe Alt really does mean that much to Herbert. On the other hand, though, dude, it was an embarrassing loss. It was an embarrassing loss for this Chargers team. So that's why I do anticipate the Chargers to really try to bounce back here. Although this Commanders team, when you're giving them the key number of 3, I love Jane Daniels to keep it close here. It really depends on how their fourth downs are going to go. Are they going to convert a bunch like they did last time? I don't know. But if they do, it's looking good. It's looking good. New England, Buffalo. Don't trust the public on this one. Long story short, we're keeping this one short and sweet. The Bills are 8.5-point favorites. Right now, they have 55% of the bets and 52% of the money backing them. Why did UCLA just get a safety? That makes no sense. Whatever, I had them plus 24.5. I could not care. And the Patriots put up a monster amount of points with Drake May under helm, and no one's given him enough credit. Everyone's like, oh, Jay Daniels, Caleb Williams, blah, 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 blah. He has the highest completion percentage in the NFL. So he's really putting it together. It's north of 70%. So give the guy some credit. The Bills are absolutely wagons, but their defense is keeping them in games. Their defense is keeping them in games. Their offense is trying to take them out of games because of how good they are. But their defense is so bad that it's keeping them in the game. So with such a large number, I anticipate the Patriots to go ahead and be able to cover this large number here. It's at 8.5. Bet this until it gets down to 7.5. That's really where the story stays. Next up, Jacksonville, Kansas City. That is the Monday night game and also the game that I have absolutely no notes for. I know off the top of my head, I bet Kansas City at -3 earlier in the week because I figured it would go to 3.5. Because maybe I'm sharp. Maybe I just burped into the camera. Maybe you're going to have to hear that. I'm not going to edit it out. Sucks for you. And the Chiefs are looking like they're rolling, right? They're now 2-2 after they got Xavier Worthy back. We saw that they were able to move the ball down the field. Patrick Mahomes is much more confident. Sometimes he starts off slow, but now he's getting back to it. He's just getting back to it. I wagered what I thought was a lot more, but only $25 on them to win the Super Bowl. That's going to be a great bet. That's going to be a great bet. I'll be able to hedge out of it like 1,000,001 times. If the Chargers lose here and the Chiefs win, the Chiefs are going to have to take home the AFC West. I understand Chargers have 3 wins against their divisional opponents, but I really do not care. And that's just what it comes down to. Jaguars are 3-1 in their last games. They're starting to look like they're heating up. Trevor Lawrence is going. Everyone is firing on all cylinders for this team. Absolutely love to see the Jaguars start doing well because I have them over 7.5 wins. And why not, right? Trevor Lawrence, I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy, but he's a guy. But is he the guy? When we look at this matchup, we're going to see that Chris Jones is going to be able to get some type of pressure on Trevor Lawrence, but not really because this offensive line is so good. So what does this really come to? I think it's going to be much more of an offensive explosion than what people expect. The total right now is at 45.5. Just from my head, just thinking about this, am I going to place a little something on the over? Because at some point, these teams are going to be able to move the ball. It opened at 46.5, now it's down to 45.5. Overall, though, I told you guys, I bet the Chiefs at 3.5. I just rambled for a whole bunch of nothing because I have no notes on this game yet. More notes will come down later. I'm impressed with the Jags defense. I'm impressed with the offensive line. The quarterback leaves a lot to be desired. The Chiefs. Look, as long as it's within 3, go ahead, give me the Chiefs. If this moves out to 4.5, I'll take the Jags here. Patrick Mahomes doesn't cover that much as a big favorite. Simple as that, people.